Hi everyone, Neil here from ECS Coffee. Welcome to another episode of Espresso Machines with Jura today. And we're going to talk about the NF4, the E4, and the comparisons between the two. Now the E4 just came out, we're in August 2022, so it just came out in Canada. It's replacing the old D6, this guy over here, which was kind of their entry-level machine before. And what Jura's smartly done is they've actually created machines for people like me who don't drink a lot of milk-based products. These two machines are actually just going to give you coffee. So you're not going to have any frothing abilities with milk, it's just for coffee. So they're at the lower end of the price point for Jura, and actually they work fantastic. I have a Z6, that's what I use at home. It's a couple years old, the Jura Z6, but I just bought a condo and I needed something a little bit smaller. And I've been using actually the NF4 for the last 5 weeks, and I really like the machine. Then, of course, I found out the E4 is being launched. I'm like, maybe I should have got that. So I thought it's probably a good time to kind of go over the differences between these machines, because there actually aren't that many other than the size. So if you want something a little more compact, you're probably gonna go with the NF4 and then the E4 if you don't really care about the size that much. So we'll go over sort of the overview of the machines, and then the size differences, what you get different, why I would pick one over the other, and what I like about both of them, to be honest with you. So I don't know why all of these espresso machine companies can't come up with names that don't confuse people. So why have an NF4 and an E4? Why not call it something totally different? I don't know why they can't do that, but that's what they do. I'm sure it has something to do with number of drinks, et cetera, but if you're looking for a Jura entry level, this is where you want to be. And you can physically see they're just different sizes, but they're really not that much of a difference, because if you take the new E4 over here and you take a tape measure to it, you'll notice it's about 11 and change wide, 11 and I'm going to give 11 and a quarter. We'll put the actual measurements up. Then if you take the NF4, you'll notice that the 11 comes right over to the edge of the water tank. So the water tank sticks out on the side on the NF4, whereas it's kind of integrated. So the size-wise on width is not much different. You'll notice that the height has got about an inch or so in difference. Again, we'll put these up on the screen, and the depth is about the same. So where you win on the NF4 again is really compact space for a condo. That's where you want to win. The water tank is smaller. It's 1.1 liter versus a 1.9 liter on the side. This way, they both come out. You can just lift this guy out here. And this one's actually, it's got a nice, sexy kind of crystal look. It kind of pops out like this. So that's that there. You've got on the NF4, you've got what is it? It's a 125 gram bean hopper. You got your bypass, and you got 280 grams on the E4, again with the bypass as well. Both are compatible with the Wi-Fi Joe app. If for some reason you feel like your espresso machine needs an app, you can tell them a little cynical about it, because I don't think everything needs an app. They've got buttons, turn them on. Both have intelligent water systems. Both are thermoblock heaters. And again, you've got just different sizes. You can get, in this guy, you can get 10 pucks in your bin before you got to empty it. The other guy, you get, I think it's 16 in this guy. I read my notes, 16 pucks in here before you need to empty it. So really, other than that, you're not going to see a lot of differences except for one, and that is that in the E4, you get the option of hot water, running from a separate spout right back in here, and that's going to allow you to make a proper Americano, which you cannot do on the NF4. NF4 is going to give you a dirty long. And for those that don't know the difference, basically a real Americano is a shot of espresso or a double with clean hot water added, and a dirty long is basically shot that the water keeps going through the coffee, so there's no clean water. Basically, you can go up to about 7 or 8 ounces for that. Now, one other thing to note on these guys is they actually have 2 different sized brewing mechanisms inside. So the actual brewer, when the coffee grinds and it goes into the brewer and makes your coffee, on the NF4, being slightly smaller, you can get up to 10 grams. From I think it's 5 up to 10 grams of coffee per brew, depending on your strength level. And on the E4, you get up to 16 grams. That's good for guys like me that want to get a full cup of coffee. What I find on the NF4, what I've been doing actually, is I've been going to the middle button on the beans, and I've actually been doing 2 brews, because the drinks, I'll get to those in a minute, you best press it twice, it'll grind twice. That's the only way I can get a full-size cup of coffee. That's what I like to drink. I'm not an Americano drinker, I'm basically a dirty long drinker, but that's how you do it. So, and you can do the same on this guy as well. You press it twice, it'll give you 2 drinks, so you can play with that as well. But that will give you maybe a full-size cup of coffee, actually maybe a large-size cup of coffee if you can fit your cup under, but you also get that feature of the Americano hot water over here. One thing to note is that there is 2 additional drinks on the Joe app for the E4, Cafe Barista and Cafe Barista Long. I'm not actually, for the life of me, no one has ever been explaining what exactly that is. Just looks like a dirty long to me coffee, so anyway. But really, just for coffee drinkers, this is what you want. So let's get into the actual machine and we'll show you guys. I'm actually, just turned this on. I don't know if it's programmed properly or not, but we're gonna show you how to quickly program coffee. And I'm gonna do it at what I think would be the right size. I know this one works. So I'm gonna get myself a cup of coffee here. And we've got beans in, we've got water in. And if you look up here, you'll notice we basically have 3 beans, and then we've got a little spoon here. And this button here, we've got on the front, we've got beans, so we'll see that goes to 3, so that's the strongest. And then if I press it again, that's for a bypass. That means we're gonna use ground coffee instead of the beans that are in the hopper. We're gonna scoop ground coffee into there. If I press it again, it goes back to 1 bean. That would be mild, medium, and strong. And again, to the bypass. So let's go to strong. And in order to program this, you'll notice on the front, we've got our programming button. That gets us in our service mode. It'll take you there in a second. You've got espresso and you've got coffee. So I'm gonna press and hold this for 2 seconds. It's very quiet grinding, probably one of the quietest I've seen. And now it's in programming mode. And when I press it again, it's gonna stop. And I'm gonna actually watch this coffee to see if it starts to get a little too liquidy, a little too watery for me. Because with the ability to have 16 grams in this, I might be able to get a good 7, 8 ounce cup of coffee without it getting watery. You can't get that in this guy. It's just gonna be near water at the end, so you won't get that full body that I really like having a coffee. So this is how easy it is to program. As soon as I'm at the level I'm at, I just press stop. It'll remember that for next time. By the way, the NF4 programming is identical. So there's no real difference to the programming with that guy. So we don't have to even show it on this. You can see it's the 3 same buttons, but let's give this a shot right about here. Now that's starting to look a little bit light, but we're now programmed for this cup. So it looks actually like a pretty good full-bodied cup of coffee if that's what I wanted in the morning. Whereas, like I said to you before, when I do it on the NF4, I actually have to press the button twice. The one fail, I think, on this is that when you press it twice, there's no indication that you've pressed it twice. There's no little light that says 2 or a little star. I'd like that because you kind of press them and you're kind of going, oh, did it? I mean, it has always worked, but I'd kind of like to know what I'm doing to make sure that's right. So notice we got a nice full-bodied cup of coffee here, and that's just from hitting it once on the E4. And that, yeah, that would do me fine. Again, it's got the bigger brewing chamber, so I do like that. I'm gonna show you guys how to make an Americano on this as well. The Americano, again, I'm gonna do an espresso shot, then I'm gonna show you how the hot water gets added at the end. Some people do the hot water first, some people do it second. I do it first, because that's the way I was told to do it. So it's a personal preference. So we're just gonna press espresso here. I've got it on the 3, so we've got our strongest espresso, so we're gonna press espresso. I'm assuming this has been programmed factory setting, probably an ounce and a half or so. And you notice our espresso is coming out of our spouts here. But you notice this guy here is not doing anything. There's one at the back. And this is where the win is with this machine. Again, with the capacity, it's better, but this is where you get your real Americano. Because what you'll see me doing in a second. So our espresso is now done. And now I want to add hot water, and it's quite simple. All you got to do is turn the knob, and you get hot water out of this back spout, nice and clean. So looks like it's heating up. You see we've got hot water coming out. Yeah, just heating up. There we go. There we go. So now we've got clean hot water for a true Americano, which is something you cannot get in the NF4. So that's probably a win for some people that are used to going to their local coffee shop and getting an Americano. But again, for me, 30 long is good enough. So I'm going to show you a couple of quick things to the program. You can just turn this off when you're done, when you're at your whatever level you want. And off we go. So we get a nice Americano. Again, here we go. So big win again on this guy for that. And again, programming is the same. So I'm going to show you the programming on this guy since I got it on. There's no real need to do anything here. Keep in mind, again, there is no milk for these machines. And an Americano does taste different than a dirty long. If I put these side by side, 2 completely different tastes. So That's something to note. So from a programming perspective, and Jack, if I get you maybe zoom in on this guy here. So if I press the little programming button here, you'll notice this will light up when you need to descale. This is to clean the machine, it'll light up. I think it's after the first 160. This is your water filter. This is that you need to add water. And this one here means you gotta empty your drip tray. That's basically what these little warning lights will mean if they do come on either machine. And this is where you'd go in using the manual to kind of set some of those weird things up that you would do when you initially get the machine, like water hardness, like I said, et cetera, et cetera. So overall, I gotta be honest with you, as someone that loves Jura as a brand and someone that just drinks coffee 99% of the time, I don't need anything more than either of these machines. I actually, like I said, have this one. I would have bought this one probably because I'm lazy and I don't like to press things twice because that extra press is not that hard, but anyway. But from a size perspective, a little bigger tank is nice, a little more pucks is nice, a little bigger hopper is nice. I do like that on this guy. A couple $100 more, but really you're in your entry level for Jura. And if you do like Americano, this is the guy to go with. I don't think I've got much more to say to you guys on this guy. One has it's called an Aroma G3 grinder, and then this one's called a Pro Aroma grinder. Now, I don't know if there's a difference. They're both super, super quiet. And honestly, this one's so new in Canada, I don't have the deck and details on it yet. So I actually looked on the international website and it's called it a Pro Aroma grinder. I'm like, I've never heard that one before, but maybe it's the same thing. Either way, great grinders and super quiet. Probably the quietest of any of the Jura machines that we've had. So if you wake up ahead of somebody in your household, you might still wake them up grinding coffee with these guys, but these are probably some of the quietest I've seen on the market. So again, highly recommend them. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask down below and we'll get you those answers as soon as we can. Again, great machines. We sell them here in Burlington, Ontario, Canada, and in Ancaster and online across Canada, but we will answer questions from around the world. Until next time, please give us a like and a subscribe. It really helps us out and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.